Hi, Derek. No see for a couple of days. Where have you been?
I was working on my piano composition.
Well, got it finished?
Yes.
Terrific. What's it like? Pretty good?
Well, I think so. It's difficult for me to tell.
Well, if it's anything like the rest of your stuff, it should be great.
Thanks, Barry. At least you encourage a fellow. That's more than some people do.
Ah, we have our genius with us tonight. I understand you've just finished a new composition, Mr. Robinson.
Yes, sir.
Are you going to favor us with the first performance? Let us bask for a brief moment in your brilliance.
I haven't had much time to practice it yet, sir.
Still, I'm sure we can all make allowances for any shortcomings.
Show him, Derek. Go on.
Stop that noise. You call that music?
It's what I feel, Dr. Wellman.
Undisciplined drivel. A few modern sounds. You string them together and call them music.
Can't you give a fellow a chance to break out and do something original?
Original? They tell me the baboons have reached a new level of musical appreciation. Why not take your genius to Africa?
Derek. All right, Barry. The trouble is you're scared. Scared of anything that's new. Anything that you don't understand.
The trouble is you lack talent to benefit from my classes. They're designed to instruct in the fundamentals of music. Only a conceited young fool tries to walk before he can crawl.
What do you know about youth? You're dead. Washed up, living in the past.
Don't talk to me like that.
There's nothing in the future for people like you, except death.
And that's where I take my psychology class. There's a lot more science involved in crime detection nowadays, Pop.
Oh, I'm sure. Sincerely hope number one son is first to solve crime by slide rule. However, do not underestimate old-fashioned use of brains, huh?
Oh, I beg your pardon.
Oh, come in, Derek. I'd like you to meet my father. Pop, this is Derek Robinson, my very best friend.
I'm glad to meet you, sir.
Gladness mutual. Barry has often written us about your musical talents.
Oh, Barry's one of my few champions. I wish I could say the same for old Wellman. He's just had me rusticated.
Explain, please, rusticated.
He means expelled. How do you like that? And for just saying what you thought?
For being insubordinate.
Didn't he give you a chance to explain your side?
I haven't got a side. I lost my temper. I was rude to a professor, and that's it.
There must be something you can do.
Oh, sure. Cut my throat. Or his.
Tis most ancient remedy for coping with hot-tempered people. Apologize. Much better than cutting throats.
Well, maybe you're right. But the sort of sarcasm that man pulls makes me see red.
One thing you can be sure, you can afford to be tolerant.
Why?
Well, pretty soon he'll be forgotten, and pretty soon you'll start being famous.
Thanks, Barry. I won't forget that. Nice meeting you, Mr. Chan.
Number one son now learning wisdom. Tell me, what is the student's problem?
Professor Wellman didn't like Derek's composition. He got pretty rude about it. Real angry.
Bad composition?
It was good. I liked it. It had a lot of feeling.
Why does man get angry for no reason?
Well, maybe he's got problems.
Explain, please.
Health, money, job. Maybe he's got a bad wife.
Ancient ancestors' teaching now bearing fruit. Number one son observes human nature.
Yes? Oh, I want to see Miss Janet Rushton.
You're Dr. Wellman, aren't you?
Yes?
I'm Jack Pearson, manager and musical director of the company.
Well, how did you know my name?
Janet's spoken about you often, and I've seen your photographs.
So she doesn't keep her family skeleton in the cupboard.
I don't think she thinks of you as a skeleton.
You seem to know quite a lot about us, Mr. Pearson.
I have good reason to. We're very fond of Janet. I'll take you along. She's in her dressing room.
Thank you.
Surprise, darling. Look who's here.
Tom.
Hello, Janet.
Well, after 3 long years of separation from your husband, you won't be needing me. I'll see you later.
Wondered if you'd drop by.
I made up my mind not to, but...
Changed it?
Yes.
I'm glad.
You said that as though you meant it.
Of course I mean it. Why shouldn't I?
What about Mr. Pearson?
Jack? What about him?
Well, he seemed pretty...
Fond of me? Of course he is. Likes to come and tell me all his troubles. He has plenty.
What sort of troubles?
All his money's in this company. It's not easy these days to keep a second-rate company on the road.
Anyone else?
Did you come here just to get a list of my friends?
No. I came here to ask you to come back to me.
Wouldn't work. Poor Don. I guess we're both failures.
I didn't fail. I simply chose security for both of us, but you didn't want that.
That's not true. I did want it. Home, the family. Maybe I wanted something else. I wanted to be somebody in my own right. If you'd given me that chance, it might have worked out. I thought it was all a little undignified.
No, I felt that you were throwing away the best years of your life in miserable little dressing rooms like this, drifting from one shabby provincial town to another.
Oh, Don, it's no use. You can't talk me out of it. Besides, there are other people involved.
Mr. Pearson?
And the rest of the company.
It's time you started considering yourself.
That's not what you mean, Don. What you mean is, it's time I started considering you.
Listen to me. I'll throw my hand in. I'll resign. I'll leave the university.
You do that for me?
Yes.
Thank you for saying that, Don. But I'm afraid you couldn't do it, you know. It's too late.
At least give me the chance to show you. Shall I see you again?
If you like. Why not come round after the show?
You're making a big mistake, you know.
You never could believe that anyone else might be right, could you?
Well?
Wants me to go back to him.
You tried it once. It didn't work.
I know. That doesn't make it any easier. Oh, don't worry. I don't think I'm going to let you down. I still have a silly idea that I might be good. Suppose we never stop fooling ourselves.
That's a good thing for me.
All the same,
All the same what? You're not weakening, are you?
No, of course not.
For a moment, I thought we were all going to be out of work next week.
Fine interpretation, huh, Pop?
Personally, prefer my lively arts more lively.
Oh, I suppose you prefer that shoot-'em-up cowboy down the street.
Oh, but beauty of galloping horse much better than floating dance.
Oh, you're getting old.
So is Miss Rushton. Fading flower no longer tracks bee.
All right, all right. It's intermission. Let's go for some refreshment. There's Derek. Hi. Didn't expect to see you here.
There's my reason. Dr. Wellman. I've been following him around. Trying to get up the nerve to apologize isn't easy.
Very few people have natural appetite for eating crow.
Why don't you go over there and get it over with now?
Well, at least be fair enough to hear me out.
I'm not interested.
You're going to listen whether you like it or not.
You need a psychiatrist, young man, not a music professor. Derek! Get this young idiot out of here or I'll call the police.
Unfortunate Hat seems to have suffered most in encounter.
That's it. That does it.
Hot heads never cool, just get more hot. Oh, come, curtain time.
That all, sir? Just cigarettes?
And get yourself a drink, then.
Oh, thank you. May I see you for a moment?
I'm just about to go on.
It's only to give you this. I leave it to you whether to post it or not.
What is it?
A letter to the Dean. My resignation.
You really want me to post this?
As you please.
But, Don,
We're ready, Janet.
will you wait here for me?
I'll wait.
Like it, Pop? Exceedingly. Strange music, very exciting.
Hanging Derek before he gets a chance to defend himself. Look, police seek student in slaying a professor.
That is not correct, my son. Police seek your friend for questioning, not hanging.
Don't kid yourself, Pop. They've got the cards stacked up against him.
Then why does not number one son get out slide rule and help?
I'm disappointed in you. I thought you had a real hunger for justice.
Oh, but hungry man never gets handout for minding other people's business.
I always thought you were a man, not a mouse.
Most excellent simile. Mouse pokes head in mousetrap. Cluck, no head. I choose to keep this venerable skull, so I am man, not mouse.
Gee, I can do without the syllogisms. Derek is in trouble.
Very well. But if your friend is found guilty, an interfering parent helps prove it. No regrets, hmm?
Apart from today, you haven't seen your husband in 3 years.
No.
Divorced?
Separated. Neither my husband nor I.
Felt like taking the initiative?
Mr. Chan, sir. Something about young Robinson.
I'll see him.
Most humble apologies, Inspector. I am Charlie Chan, formerly of Honolulu Police. This is my son, Barry.
That, Mr. Chan. Very glad to have you here, sir. Unofficially, of course. Unless you represent Derek Robinson legally.
No, personal friend.
Do you know where he is?
Unfortunately, no.
You understand, we're very anxious to find him.
Inspector, in murder cases, I find it very unwise to throw all the eggs at one suspect.
Certainly.
But my young friend had violent argument with unfortunate deceased.
Yes.
Any other suspects?
Not at the moment.
But Miss Rushton, she is separated from husband without divorce. It's possible inability to get rid of husband could cause dangerous emotions.
If you're suggesting I killed my husband, it's nonsense. Just beginning to get things sorted out. Besides, I was on stage at the time.
Slight correction, please. You were off stage just before announcement of murder.
He was off stage for less than a minute. Hardly long enough to commit murder.
You speak with voice of authority. Name, please?
This is Mr. Pearson, the musical director. I think we must count him out. He was conducting the orchestra at the time.
Cast iron alibi.
Newspapers state that Dr. Wellman was stabbed.
Must we go into all the details, Inspector? Could we have a little more regard for the lady's feelings?
Mr. Pearson's quite right, Mr. Chan. All right, Mr. Pearson, you can go. And Miss Rushton. I may want you again later.
Thanks, Inspector.
One more question, please. You have found murder weapon?
All we know, Mr. Chan, is that the deceased was stabbed several times with a round instrument about the thickness of a pencil.
Round?
Round.
No more questions. Everything now quite clear. Thank you very much, Inspector.
Derek, Papa and I have come to help.
Just one moment, sir.
Robinson, sir. We picked him up at the bus station.
Derek Robinson?
Yes.
Seen this gentleman before?
He was bending over the body when I came into the alley.
Sure.
There's a light over the door. I saw him all right.
Looks like blood to me. Any explanation?
It is blood. Wellman's. Is it a crime to try and help a man?
Depends what you mean by help, son.
I didn't kill him. I came back here to take another crack at him before I left town. I was coming up to the stage door and he staggered out. I caught him as he fell. That's all.
Then why run away?
Well, I was scared. It was pretty well known that we'd had a quarrel.
What about?
Humbly request suspect be permitted to refrain from talking until legally represented.
Thank you, Mr. Chan. Take him down to the station.
Come on. Oh, one moment, please. Would like to look round and ask questions.
Well, that'll be all right, sir.
Miss Rushton's dressing room?
Through that door and across the passage.
Thank you. No other way in or out?
No, sir.
Aren't you going to search the room?
No, curiosity now satisfied.
Well, mine isn't. I'm going to have a look around.
Oh, but please do, my son. Independent eagerness for research always commendable. Where does staircase lead, please?
A staircase down to the band room, sir.
murder's weapon. It's a hatpin from a Japanese costume.
Oh, good. Well?
Don't you realize what this means? It's Miss Rushton's.
Very interesting.
Pop, quit fooling around. Get with it.
Oh, I am, son. How you say, dig the beat? Boogie woogie. Very crazy.
But what about the murder?
Oh, no problem. Case already solved. Permit me.
What are you doing here?
Always most fascinated by what happens behind scenes.
Yes, most people are frustrated actors.
Yes, quite correct. But men in theater like yourself, Mr. Pearson, you also perhaps have frustrations? Like love, maybe?
What do you mean?
Dr. Wellman was killed last night, approximately this time. Discovery of body occurred immediately after bongo drum solo, at which time conductor of orchestra takes a few minutes rest.
You suggesting I killed Dr. Wellman?
Logical conclusion. You had opportunity and motive.
What motive?
Miss Rustin. She was contemplating returning to husband, leaving you stranded with second-rate company, which only she could hold together. So you killed husband, thereby keeping not only position, but woman also.
That's absurd. Besides, to kill a man, you've got to have a weapon.
This weapon? Extremely well-timed blow, my son.
Well, just another thing I learned, Pop. The art of self-defense.
Ah, yes. The most lively of all the arts. Please, one moment. Waiting for son. Oh, here he is.
Sorry I'm late, Pop, but I was delayed by the dean. He's giving Derek another chance, and he wants you to give a lecture on criminal psychology.
Me? No, never.
But why not?
Tell Dean most grateful for honor, but could never compete with slide rule. Goodbye.
Oh, by the way, next week is your birthday. What size socks do you wear?
Oh, no socks.
Well, what do you want?
Bongo drum.
Oh,